Jalen Hurts handling is life-changing.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like the same guy to me. I haven't noticed anything different. Still out here every day, working out. He's always trying to get better. Even in a walkthrough in OTAs, we're talking through, why do we go to, the will and not push it to the mic, or, do we want to do that out of that formation? All of that stuff is still happening, and it seems like he still has a hunger and a desire to improve and get better, which is a necessity in this league. So I have not noticed anything different other than actually nothing from him. Probably just an aura of, I don't know, commas, I guess. But, yeah.
Jason, just looking at Jalen in his offseason, I mean, yeah, he signed a historic record-breaking contract. He also just got his master's, and to be able to do something like that at 24 and also lead this team at a high level, I mean, you've been around a lot of quarterbacks. How impressive is that from someone so young?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely impressive, and I think it's not surprising if you know Jalen. I mean, this guy is everything. There's such a drive on his end to always be improving and always getting better, and into making his time useful. It does not surprise me that he got his master's. It doesn't surprise me that he's turned into the player he has. It's impressive, but I think when you see him on a daily basis and how hard he works, and there's not really a lot of nonsense. You can joke around with him, but at all times, he's all about business. So you're really happy for him in every facet, and not surprised.
You're going to be playing next to our new right guard. First off, what was going through your mind when Isaac signed his deal? And
Yeah.
what have you seen from guys like Cam, Tyler, and all the other guys that will be vying for the spot?
Yeah, Isaac is a really, really special player. I know we've said that here for a long time, and I still don't think people really truly grasp what he did for our room and me personally. I think he's, probably the smartest player I've ever been around. Really, really gifted physically, mentally, like across the board. So I think the Steelers are getting a steal. That's a good pun, I guess. I think he's one of the best guards in the NFL, and I think he has been. And I think he's one of the most consistent players I've ever been around, one of the most consistent people I've ever been around. So we're not going to replace Isaac. There's going to be somebody new in there, and they're going to have their attributes that they're going to excel with. And, looking forward to seeing who does a really, really good job with that. We have a number of the Eagles are always drafting people and bringing in talent on the offensive line. And it's something, for me as an offensive lineman, that I sure appreciate, because, it's a unit, and a lot of times it's only as good as its, weakest link, right? And, we've had a lot of really, really good players. We've been able to weather injuries, and guys have gone on and had success elsewhere. So I look forward to, being in the room, going through this off-season, training camp, and season, and figuring out what this unit's about.
We didn't get to see Cam last year on field.
Yeah.
You saw him behind the scenes. Can
He
you
played a
tell
little
how
bit out
much-
there, a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cam is really, really talented. Extremely physically gifted, hardworking. The strength to weight ratio that he has is phenomenal. Very, very strong for his size. Extremely explosive, smart, blue collar, lunch pail type kid. Really, really happy. I think I speak for everybody in the building. He was ready to play last year. He could have gone in there and done an extremely good job playing center last year. I feel very confident in that. And, he's going to get a chance to compete at right guard. He's going to get a chance to play center still. The future is extremely bright for him. I think he can blossom into, one of the best centers in the league easily one day, and I think he can play right guard. So, we're going to get a chance to watch that so far. Looks great. We're only in shorts and stuff like that. But the sets and everything, you can tell he's been working Last year he would play a little bit of guard and scout team and one-on-ones and stuff, but obviously as he's gotten reps, gotten used to a new stance and utilizing your hands just a little bit different, you can see he's put some work in this
Where
offseason.
do you stand in terms of your health versus like maybe previous years and obviously
Yeah.
compared to 17 when you had the longer season as well?
Well, I'm certainly, just overall health-wise worse than 17, but I don't know if that has much to do with the Super Bowl. I think it's just added years. But, I feel good, for the most part. Have little nagging things that you kind of got to figure out and take care of. But for the most part, I feel good for where I'm at right now. I'm still strong. I'm still able to go out there and run around and move around at a high level. So I feel confident.
James Bradbury and Dallas were just in here talking about how they coped with the Super Bowl. You went right into the podcast. I was just wondering did you find it like therapeutic to, it seemed like you guys talked about it so much, and did that help you kind of cope, just having an outlet like that?
I don't know. It was confusing. It was the Super Bowl was confusing because of my brother over there, mom on the field. It wasn't. There's a lot of emotions going around. You're kind of happy for your brother, but also pissed off for you and your teammates. I think it really set in probably the most a few days after the game, if I'm being honest. We really think about, plays you could have had back, and that game very easily could have gone a different direction. And you start second guessing every little thing that you could have done to make an outcome and a difference in that. As for the podcast being therapeutic, it's therapeutic for our family, I think, and talking about, like, Mom, I think all week you try and block that out to a certain extent because you want to focus on the game and, really just be there with your teammates. But certainly, like, looking back at it, just an unbelievable week for her and, to put up with all of our shenanigans for her whole life and get us to where we're at, and then to be celebrated for an entire week on a national stage. It was a really, really, it kind of hit me full go when we were talking about that on the podcast. So that was certainly therapeutic. But as far as losing the game, I don't know. That it helped too much with that. I think, just time and, that's kind of just how it has to happen.
You've been taking it year by year for a couple of years now. You seem to be having a lot of fun doing the podcast, us on the outside looking in, all the other stuff, the broadcast boot camp. What sort of made you say, I want to keep going versus do all this other stuff out here?
Yeah, well, and part of the reason I've started to do a lot of these other things is I know the time's coming to an end, and I want to make sure that I'm in a good position once I get done playing, that I have outlets. The problem is I just keep playing, so now I have all these other things going on that I kind of wish I would wait on. But I think that factors in. I do think some guys retire. I think retirement becomes an easier decision when you know firmly what you want to do. But I just keep coming back to what Jeff Stoutland and my wife says pretty much the same thing, which is when you don't want to play, you'll know it, and you're going to firmly just not want to do it. It's not going to be fun anymore. And I always say, I don't think that's ever going to happen. He's like, no, one day you'll wake up and you're not going to want to do this. And I guess there's days that I don't want to do this, but I think largely when you think about it over the course of a season, everything, I still really enjoy coming in. I still feel like I can do it. I still feel like I'm healthy enough to do it, and I can do it the right way. So that's pretty much the biggest reason why.
We'll do a couple more and then we'll get Alex Tanian.
What do you think about winning the Good Guy Award?
It's an honor. I feel like it's really nice, but it also means that I've probably been too nice to you guys. Maybe I'm overly, yeah. No, obviously, I my whole career I've thought that, talking to media members and doing press conferences, these are ways for you to engage with the fans, right? not just to talk to you guys, which I enjoy, but, you get to control to some extent what the messages that you want. And now that I have my own podcast, I even get to control it that much more. But, I think that it's an important thing to utilize. And I think that to some extent, that's one of the requirements of being in this position is to communicate and to offer up things to you guys and to the fans. And I think that I've always taken that seriously, even in times when I don't want to do it. Skipped out, I guess, on a few post-game ones when the game's been particularly rough maybe. But I think, there's a level that I think is required. And, just to do it right.
Jason, you mentioned the fans. This Saturday is the Eagles Autism Challenge.
Yeah.
Last year, a fan shared a moment with you where she's literally crying, meeting
Yeah.
you. Does that ever get old?
Does it ever get old, a fan crying to me? No, that does not get old, no.
Real? Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
How do you look at that?
well, obviously, incredibly thankful and blessed to be able to offer joy and support to anybody. That's one of the great privileges of playing this game. And I think that I've said this before, but I think this sport is largely like you're in the business of hope and providing optimism, and everybody. We got a season coming up, and everybody's looking forward to it, and everybody's optimistic as we are. So, in the Eagles Autism Challenge and Autism Foundation, they've done a phenomenal job in a short amount of time of connecting with Eagles fans and fans all over the country. I mean, there's people, outside of the country that come to this thing. And, to be able to, offer support or even just, be there and have an interaction with somebody. And I think that all of that is one of the beautiful things that I get to do, whether it's at the Eagles Autism Foundation or Challenge or, out at a restaurant. I think sometimes it can be overwhelming, but for the most part, there's few things that bring you joy when you see how much happiness you brought somebody or their family or something like that.